Welcome to the subject's creation video logs. In this short and informative video, we will tell you what to do while creating subject 324. What is subject 324? Subject 324, also known as the Monkeye, appears as a floating, monkey head with a large central eye, 6 eye stalks ending in smaller eyes that can have lasers shot out of them making the gorillas fall through the ground. Subject 324 is hostile and has damaged vocal cords, so it cannot speak any language, but it can understand. Supplies needed 1 captured gorilla, preferably a living. Tranquilizer rifle with priming agent. Black concealment bag. Restraint shows. Neural disruptor clamps. Mutation serial number 11B, eye-stalk growth enhancer. Supplies needed. Shrinkify potion, testive, stable batch. Vocal cord remover, Monroe's level. Custom containment orb, suspension grade. Gorilla is monitor W/neural response overall. Scampo, bone drill, synthetic optic grafts, 6. Experiment steps. Locate a suitable gorilla subject 1 million experimental zones. Use tranquilizer rifle to fire a base list with priming agent, preps the brain for a mutation. Bag the gorilla while unconscious and immediately relocate to Monroe's sublab. Restrain with code forged shells to prevent earlier aggression upon vacuum. Apply neural disruptor clamps to the temple and jawline. In lockdown, surgically remove vocal cords. This ensures silence but maintains understanding. Implant cortical override chip to simulate receptive learning without line expression. Inject mutation serial number 11B into skull and upper spinal column. Within 90 minutes, eye-stalk nodules begin to protrude from scalp. Using a bone drill, hollow 6 cranial outlets and insert synthetic optic grafts. Seal with living resin and allow tissue to bind. Connect the optic nerves to a central core via the main eye. Once the eye-stalk grafts are complete, secure the subject in a vertical suspension harness to prevent limb movement. Use bone shears and a tendon separator to sever the spine at the C2 vertebra. Also is discarded into a wireless recycler. The subject neurological functions are kept alive through an external cortex stabilizer wired directly into the head. This process leaves only the floating cranial unit, which will later be adapted with micro-levitation emitters hidden within the orbital cavity. Bathe the subject in shrinkify potion mist shoulder. exposure must not exceed 45 seconds. Excess causes brain liquefaction. Was shrunk, placed into custom containment orb. When the subject is placed inside the ranging system, immersement map or similar experimental area. When field induction loops on Gorilla's mirror monitor. Loop shows rapid image flickers of isolation, betrayal, fade escape, and noise collapse. Monkey learns to recognize movement, voice pitch, and fear signals. Lasers are activated once emotional trigger threshold is met.
SCVL created by Monroe.